Hi everybody. So we just saw Star Trek Into Darkness.
And it was.
And it was
Into Darkness.
It was so into darkness.
I think space was what they were referring to.
I think space was the great darkness that they were headed into. Yeah.
We remain uncertain as to what darkness we went into. The theater was also dark.
So we went into darkness.
We went into darkness to see Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah.
And we emerged again.
Out of the darkness.
Out of the darkness. And thought that we needed to come home, have some Raisin Bran, and dissect the film.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see that behind us, but obviously we're familiar
Credentials.
with the stuff, with the story and things. It's not a bad film.
No. I wouldn't call it bad.
No.
I wouldn't call it Star Trek.
And that was the thing that I've been saying all along since I saw the trailer. Is it's not Star Trek because it's Star Wars. The action, the storyline, the characters, the cinematography, it's not Star Trek. It's very much what Star Wars is. And I couldn't help it, but watching this film tonight, it was Star Wars. It was like I was watching a Star Wars film. And because it fails on a lot of things that Star Trek's all about, and Star Trek's about exploration and discovery and philosophy and...
Great philosophical questions in nearly every episode of Star Trek, particularly the films. Particularly the films in the original series. They all center upon a greater question that has to be answered and some sort of philosophical dilemma that the characters have to get through, to really succeed in their mission. And this Into Darkness tried to have a philosophical question, which was pretty easily answered. The question being, apparently, is it more just to take a criminal back for trial or to take revenge upon them by killing them? And so, luckily, Kirk has very little bit of a struggle with this for about 3 minutes in the film and then determines, yes, they should take him back for the trial. Spock approves. Excellent. So that's cleared up.
Mm-hmm. But the way they get there is a complex series of explosions and people hanging off of things precariously.
We kill a lot of Klingons.
Yeah.
And can we just mention that
Klingons, also known as Mordor orcs.
Yes. They go to Klingon, aka the Mines of Moria, into an abandoned section of the planet Kronos where there are supposed to be no Klingons, and in fact we establish when they get there that there are no life forms, except for Benedict Cumberbatch, in the entire sector. And what's the first thing that happens? When
life forms! Lots of them!
There are
Klingons everywhere.
Not just one ship. But as they rise out of apparently escaping, there's like 8 Klingon ships, all of them stuffed to the gills full of Klingons that apparently the Enterprise's sensors couldn't pick up.
Yeah. But it's okay because Benedict Cumberbatch, aka Khan,
single-handedly
just
kills them all.
With the cunning use of guns.
And not just any gun. Some sort of rocket launcher that is literally the size of his body.
Like a beam cannon
but
thing.
With which he is able to very easily jump around. And I was not aware that Kronos had very low gravity, but that must be the case, because nobody else could have physically carried a weapon this size.
Yeah. So that was weird. And then enter into one of our huge sticking points with this film.
Wait, which one?
Uhura.
Oh, her.
Yeah, Uhura is awful in this. I mean, in both J.J. Abrams films, Uhura is very badly portrayed.
And no offense,
very badly
Saldana, because you had nothing to work with.
Yeah.
And you're very pretty, and apparently that's all that Uhura is good for. Because conveniently she knows all these languages, and yet the only time in Star Trek Into Darkness that she has an opportunity to use it and says, "Let me go out, I speak Klingon, that's the reason you brought me," and then immediately within 2 sentences is about to get herself murdered.
Yeah. The only time that she proves that she's any use to anybody on board the Enterprise she instantly fails miserably. I mean, you have Scotty, who is a huge help, technical guy. You have Spock, obviously.
Science, voice of logic, yes, we get it. Sulu can drive the ship. Chekhov apparently can do anything.
Yeah, he has no problem with just jumping in and handling the warp core.
I feel like he could probably easily run communications, and he speaks Russian, which is apparently kind of close to Klingon.
It's a second language.
I mean, so he's bilingual at least. I think he should be given her post. So Uhura spends most of the movie wandering around asking people how they feel, crying at the drop of a hat, trying to make out with Spock in public in the middle of the Enterprise.
And she's basically, and we came up with this, she's an object to be appeased. Rather than Uhura in the original series, who was a strong character, an independent character, an intelligent character, who was actively a part of the solution to the problems that the Enterprise encountered. Uhura in the J.J. Abrams films is little more than an obstacle.
To everything.
To everything. To the characters, to the mission, she's a liability. And she's written that way.
She is a liability. And, at any given point in time, she's having some sort of emotional breakdown or emotional trauma that has to deal with Spock that, frankly, in several cases, gets in the way of the mission. Mm-hmm. And if we're talking about strong female characters, Uhura is not one of them. So apparently we need to move back in time a little bit.
And it doesn't exist. The strong female character doesn't exist in the Star Trek.
I think Dr. Carol Marcus is giving us an opportunity
But she was in the film for a total of 5 minutes, maybe. She got 5 minutes of total screen time.
But in those 5 minutes of screen time, she single-handedly fixed more problems than Uhura in 2 movies. Because Uhura has never actually solved a problem.
Well, yeah, she was actually the whole thing with the torpedoes. She knew how to disarm it.
And she has a PhD, so.
Oh, no. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's just when Joss Whedon and a lot of the other sci-fi and fantasy franchises out there are really starting to push for these strong, independent female characters, this Star Trek is devoid of them almost completely. And Uhura is supposed to be that character. Uhura was a pioneer of the strong female character on television in the original series.
Not just the character of Uhura was a breakthrough in television history, in that we had this African American actress playing a strong female character, and then of course, we have the first cross-racial kiss on the original Star Trek series, which, can we point out too, was not because Uhura was having a romance, but because we were in an alternate universe that actually made sense, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
However, the other thing that I point out in Star Trek Into Darkness, finally, the end of the movie, we have Spock. We have Khan. They're having a fight, Spock is losing, and Uhura says, "Give me the phaser, I'll beam down and save them." But even then, no, she fails miserably.
Yeah.
Spock still has...
The thing is that I don't understand is that Scotty manages to stun Khan with one hit with a phaser.
He's a male, dear.
Yeah, but
his virility.
Uhura can't. I mean, this guy, he's like Superman, just bullets bouncing off of him when Uhura is shooting him. And Uhura's a little more than a distraction for Spock to jump up and handle things like a man.
She clearly had the settings wrong on the phaser.
Yeah, clearly she can't figure out.
She had it to warm my tea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.